Yeah, AJ, 33 now, 2 kids, married, used to be a teacher, always been involved in sport in some regards. So I was a teacher in sport, played rugby since I was yay high, and that was my sort of inception into sport training and how we got started. Training for me was always just how I set up my day. So being a teacher, I would always start with training, go in and train, and that sort of process of trying to do something for me first to fill up my bucket was always a big tick in the box. It then sort of evolved into I wanted to be a better player. So it was actually how could I get fitter, faster, stronger. It then evolved even further into picking up weightlifting. And then it was a case of how can I get technically better, adding a couple of kilos at a time. And that was sort of, my inception of fitness, as it were, and in starting of a journey. Came a point in the pandemic where I was at a bit of a crossroads with what I wanted to do in the next 20, 30, 40 years. I'd been in the same school for 7 years at that point, and was staring down the barrel of potentially doing 20, 30, 40 years at the same school in the same job. And that just wasn't for me. I knew that I would struggle, not mentally, but I would struggle mentally to turn up and do the best that I could. So yeah, crossroads in the pandemic, came across Ollie and Jens at that time in the PFCA. Strangely enough, I was already qualified as a PT from probably even 6 or 7 years prior to that. It was something that interested me as a career, moving forward into being self-employed with the kids and how I could manage my days and my time more effectively. That then, led me to the PFCA. So I'd already qualified. I'd done that years before. I think I was maybe 19 at the time when I first did it. Then fell into teaching. Had a teaching career, a whirlwind teaching career, as it were, for 7 or 8 years. And then, as I was looking to potentially transition out of teaching into something different, I didn't feel comfortable in the piece of paper that I had to say that I was a qualified PT. So then looking further into it, and then you come across, like I said, Jens and Ollie and co, and the stuff they were putting out at the time in terms of the value of their free content. That then drew me in, and I haven't looked back since. Looking back at the stuff, so what I've done in the last 4 or 5 years since doing the PFCA, I wouldn't have done half of it. It's a different career and different career path, but some of the opportunities and the things that I've done, the people I've met, the things that I've seen, I wouldn't have done half of it had I still been teaching. And there's still plenty more to come, but it feels amazing. I set myself a target when I left teaching was, weirdly enough, it sounds weird, hear me out. I wanted to sing a national anthem, not as a fan. So I wanted to try and find myself in international sport, but paid to be there. I wasn't going to play because I was rubbish. So finding that transition and then doing it within, I think I did it within 11 months. And again, now you talk to clients and you talk to people about having like a North Star. What's the thing that you desperately want to achieve that you may never, but is what keeps you going? I think that was mine. Fortunately, unfortunately, I hit it pretty early, but then what it's done is just allowed me to evolve that further in the last 2 or 3 years into what I now do. It's pretty sick. It was cool. Obvious fear concern were financials. So I was leaving a pretty well-paid salaried job, guaranteed every month. Almost, as a teacher as well, you're almost always going to be in demand. There's always going to be a teaching job somewhere. That was a big one. That was a big concern. Would I be good enough? Would people want to come and work with me? Was a big concern. And then the time management element of it. I suppose historically, not historically, maybe a PT would be seen to be 6 a.m. to 10 p.m, working around their clients' hours, in first, out last, big chunks in the middle of the day where you're empty and not earning or not doing anything productive. So those were probably my biggest fears. And they were solved by, and then I suppose the PFCA in that broader sense, what drew me into it more was less so the piece of paper saying that you can become a PT, because that's pretty easy to come by, I think. It was more than the aftercare and the support that Jens and co offered, both during the qualification in terms of that broader business sense of things, and then the aftercare of how to set yourself up as a business. I had no idea. I didn't know what tax was, didn't know what VAT was. That sense of, okay, this is where you are, this is where you need to get to, this is the path you need to follow, made it so easy. And I feel like the qualification I did way back when, I could just skip everything and then potluck answer the questions at the end right. If I got it right, you could move on. If I didn't, I might go and read one question and then answer it. It's like, that was terrible. What a waste of money. I've got definite standout memories and not visions in my head, but I can picture myself clearly sat at the time at my in-laws' place at the kitchen table on the Zoom calls and sitting there thinking with my notepad that I still refer to now 4 years later, thinking, didn't know that, didn't know that, didn't know that. And leaving these things, not feeling overwhelmed by what I didn't know, but feeling happy that I now had that in my toolbox and could refer back to it. And actually that then sparked more conversations that I've had with Jens and the guys since and still do now. And again, that wasn't delivered in an in-person course that I did way back when. That was delivered in Zoom in what you could class as challenging times, they still delivered a phenomenal product. I love the light bulb moment, like that spark. When you say something to a client, whether it was my mum way back when I would train her, right up to now when I'm working with a professional athlete, in the middle when I'm working with a 45-year-old IT consultant who is just coming to the gym for their 1 hour of the day where they get to look after themselves. For me, it's that I get it moment when you deliver a cue or you reference a point. It's hard to describe, but when you see it, it's like, that was cool. Did I have any apprehension? I think at the time there's always that sort of, like it's an investment. So, you know, things like that don't come cheap, and they shouldn't come cheap because it's, well, I would perceive it to be the best. And if you buy cheap, you buy twice. And I made that mistake. Did a rubbish one years before. Didn't believe that I had the tools to equip me to go and do something sick. So I had to pay twice. So I suppose that was an apprehension of mine, but I quickly earned it back tenfold. And again, that's all down to what they delivered on the course, during the course, and then after the course. I haven't got the best concentration span. So my reservations about doing it potentially online would have been that I could drift. And I'm quite distracted easily. I've got 2 kids at home as well. So that would probably been my only apprehension about doing it online. But again, it was so engaging, and the guys were so good at delivering online, and you could tell that they really honed in that craft, that even me with an attention span of a 2-year-old, I was always engaged, I was always learning. And yeah, I mean, I still refer back to many of the things that came up on the course now in what I do. It showed me what it is to care. It showed me what it was to get to know an individual, even in a group setting. And I felt like it was Jens and Eamon could have named each of us individually, knew something about us within 2 calls. So I think it taught me that to take the time and the care and the attention to get to know someone on that level is only going to benefit you and your coaching, and that rapport building and the relationship building. Because as soon as you can get that with a client, I found that they're much more likely to stay, they're much more engaged, and at the end of the day, that only helps your reputation as a coach. PFCA showed me how to deliver a proper consult as a professional business owner, coming through that consultation process that again wasn't available on the other course, and break down that journey for that person and how they want to get from A to B. I would say if you're considering making a change, whether it's a career change or you're just starting out, well, don't make the same bloody mistake as me and end up paying for 2. Simple as. It's great, it's excellent value. Again, I'm unfortunate that I can compare it to another one that I did in the past, and the value I got from the PFCA far outweighs the value that I got from the other one. I won't name them. Have there been any standout moments from like, yeah, like, yeah, how long you got? Yeah, loads. And it ranges from getting someone or helping someone, I didn't get it for them, helping someone get their first 100 kilo clean, right down to mum falling back in love with moving, right up to an old client of mine lost 15 kilos and was with me for 2 years, but now, you know, I check in with him once a month. We speak every now and then, but whilst they are attributed to you as the coach, they're not my achievements. And it was through the PFCA that you sort of realise that, and that, again, is what develops that deeper understanding of the human in front of you and how you want to make them better. The PFCA has helped to change my life for the better. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be where I am now without it.